Hello and welcome to the Damp Show with me, Dampsam, the most down-to-earth, straightforward talking northerner on the internet and most qualified surveyor and all-round rough person. I just thought, for a bit of content, I'll have a look at people plastering, doing it DIY. I got sent a couple of videos and I got asked to comment on them. On with the show!
Georgina Bisby, thank you for joining me again. If you've been following my renovation and extension series, you'll know that I'm trying to take on some of the work myself to save some cash. And today I am talking about plastering. Is plastering a DIY job?
It's plastering.
I'm going to find out. So stick around because I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide to plastering if you've never done it before like me either. I'm going to show you what you need to do the job, how much it costs, how to prepare the walls ready to stick the plaster on, how to mix it, and then how to get it on the walls so that it's
just before she starts, I'll just give anybody some advice. If you're thinking of plastering walls yourself and skimming walls yourself, get an expert in. Just before you start, it's going to cost you a fortune for all the stuff, and you're going to end up with it all over the floor. And this is just before she starts. And them walls look quite smooth. So majority of people's houses, it's not like that. So unless you're going to want a textured finish or a kind of type of textured finish, get an expert in. That'd be my advice straight away. It takes years to learn to plaster to a decent standard where you can look at that job and it be okay. And I'm not saying this to try and put people off having a go. I'm just trying to save you some time, energy and money
on the walls so that it sticks, hopefully. But I've also got some secret
tips that have been
passed on to me that I'll share with you as well, so stick around. Okay, so first and foremost, what do you need to do the job? Well, I've got a selection of the items here.
Let's have a look what she's got. So, to me, it looks like she's already had a go, because handboard's mucky, and it looks very, very old and mucky. So, she's probably had a go a few times. Bucket looks filthy. I can see all old plaster in there, so somebody's had a go. She's got half a bag of multi-finish. Oh, I'm just looking at back there. So she's had a go on this wall at back. She's got some PVA bonding. I'd say use SPR, but it's everybody to their own. It don't look like it's a kitchen or a bathroom. She's got a bit of scrim tape. She's got a trowel and a sponge. Oh, right. I'm wondering if she's going to do a sponge finish on it, because I'm looking at these, and normally when you get some a beginner plastering, even somebody who's been doing it sort of 4 or 5 years, you get big fat marks on when it dries out. You see these what's a lighter colour, they're called fat marks, and you get bigger scabs in, but a lot of people, a lot of plasterers have started doing it with these sponges. So let's have a look what she's doing.
Here, but you need some PVA. This is available for about £9 for 5 litres from various places like Selco. You need your hawk, your plasterer's hawk.
It's not a hawk. It's not a hawk. And anybody that calls it a hawk is a cunt. It's called a handboard. You put in your hand, and it's a board that you use in your hand. A hand board. We're not on Kes. It's not a hawk. It's a board. A hand board. All you southerners, it's a hand board. All right. I used to work with a bloke and used to call it a hawk. I ended up sacking him.
Hawk and your trowel as well. These are your 2 important tools. I think these you can pick up for
I hope she's not going to call it a hop up as well. A hop up. It's a trestle. It's not a hop up.
About £8. That's the cheapest I could find it for. In terms of the trowels, in actual fact, you can get these from about £5, but they're pretty useless. Generally, most people would say spend from about £20 onwards to get a reasonable one of these, or it's just going to be.
So they're wanting you to buy a trowel that's 20 quid. You might get a good second. Well, you might get a second hand one for 20 quid, but if you're buying a brand new trowel, it's not going to be broken in. So even them that they say are broken in and not broken in enough for plasterers. So I might speak about it being broken in later on if I can get these teeth right.
Just going to be such hard work. Definitely don't go to the pound shop for that one. You need a few buckets. You need obviously some plaster, some multi-finish plaster. That's available from around £6 for a bag. One more thing that you might want that isn't necessarily essential is a paddle mixer. You can actually...
Right, so she's doing a DIY job, and she's got to have a drill, paddle, trowel. She's got a sponge float, PVA, amboard. Looks like she's got some kind of I'm just trying to think what they call it. Spot board. She's got a spot board and a trestle pot spot board as well to go on. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like a ladder or whatever. But I suppose listen, it's as if she's doing a full renovation. So if she's doing it all the same, I don't know. It's cheaper to get someone in. It is, definitely is. I don't know what job she does, but if she's just trying to do this on a weekend and she's paid all that money out for that stuff, it's just
not necessarily essential. It's a paddle mixer. You can actually pick up these ends and use them in most powerful drills. You can do it, but you can use a stick. It depends how much plastering you've got to do, really, how much you want.
A fucking stick? A stick to mix all that? When I first started, first ever job that I did, I'd not got a mixing paddle. So I was 17 and I'd been going to college. And a woman up road asked if I'd do a patch. Nobody had touched it because it was a small patch. It needed some backing plaster putting on and then just skimming in. And I went up and I'd got a tiler's bucket. That's all I'd got. I'd cadged a bit of browning off from college. And I'd got note to mix. It were poshers back then. You didn't have whisks. And what I did was, because I'd not got a whisk and I in my head, I just thought I'll get a stick and I'll put some nails in it. I had since bloke that I was working with had got something similar. So I braid some nails in and made it like a club like Captain Caveman would have. And it was an absolute nightmare. I mixed it up. I mixed browning up. So that's backing plaster. And I had a board to tip it onto. And when I tipped it out onto the board, on it top like sort of 3 inch were thick, and it rest were just still running water, and it just went everywhere. And that's me who had been going to college for like about a year and a half as well. So yeah, DIYers, take note.
Really how much you want to spend on the equipment, whether or not you can borrow any, but something to mix the plaster with you need anyway, one way or another. So what I've got here is some self-adhesive scrim. This is fiberglass scrim, and basically we're gonna, because we're showing you how to plaster onto plasterboard here, we're just going to cover up these cracks here, these joints here, because otherwise the plaster will crack once it's on if you don't do that.
Yeah, she's right. Always put some scrim over joints, and self-adhesive tape's a lot better. If you add other stuff, bandage scrim, that were a nightmare to put on, an Essien. But she's doing alright, Get to the bottom, then just cut it off with trowel, love. Just get your trowel and just cut it off. That's it. No, that's side, yeah. That's side. Yeah, it takes some doing, doesn't it? Oh, she's here, look. Oh, PPE on. Good lass. She's got a mask on. State it bucket. So all them will be hard bits and they'll be all going into plaster.
So it's important not to over whisk it. It's a little bit like baking, where if you overdo it, it can start to cook it a bit and then it goes off really quickly.
Like to be eating
but
it.
Just keep adding water and plaster until you get a consistency that's pretty much just smooth and creamy consistency, and it needs to stick to the trowel when you lift the trowel up, so that'll be a clue as well. So you can fish this out the bucket if you're just plastering a small area, but a spot board like this does make it easier to scoop off when you're doing the job. So I'm just going to pour some out here.
When she's saying it makes it easier, she's got about half a bucket there. She's going to have to wash that bucket out. She's going to tip that onto the table. But this size of this table is taking all the room up. If she's trying to get a trestle round there, moving it about, it just takes too much room up. It's easier just to scrape it out at bucket and just put it on trowel. There's only, what, 2 handboards full there. Well, 2 of my handboards full anyway. In fact, 1 of my handboards full, because it's nearly as big as that table. Proper man's handboard.
Okay, so first top tip is that it's really important to work cleanly, because if you have old plaster where you haven't washed out the bucket,
like that one that you've got
20 minutes ago, and
filthy,
then it mixes with new plaster, it'll then make that new plaster go off too quickly.
She's
right.
right.
So I was talking about PVA earlier, and this is something that
Don't
you might be wanting to use if
Don't
it's
put it
your
on
first time
boards.
plastering, and if you're plastering onto a difficult surface. Because we're plastering
Not on boards.
onto this plasterboard, we're going to work without it. But basically, if you do use this, follow the directions on the back of the packet. It's a dilution of about 5:1, and you want to put...
It depends. Depends on how cheaper stuff you've got. So if you buy really cheap PVA, that'll already be diluted. So 5:1, it's a bit watery. If you're gonna be diluting it 2:1 or 3:1, don't be making it too water. Because if you put too much water in, and water vapor as a gas goes through fabric at building, PVA will turn back to its water form, and it'll blow the skimming off at wall. Not on plasterboards, but on them plaster walls or whatever she's going to do it on.
Put it on well,
especially in bathrooms and kitchens.
Put it on well before you start plastering. So possibly even the day before, to be sure that it's completely dry. And then once you plaster onto it, it reactivates it. But it just gives you a bit more time to work with the plaster. It means that it goes off...
Did she say it reactivates it? It doesn't reactivate it. That is what's called a mechanical key. So once you put it on, it sticks to it because it's a mechanical key, and it's been, and that's what they've made it like. They made it so it'll stick to it.
Slower, so you've got a bit more time to get the job done. Equally, at the other end of the spectrum, for professional plasters, it's too slow. It would make the job too slow for them, so they don't want to use it. But weigh it up, see what kind of surface you're working with, and see if it helps you out.
Did she just say professional plasters don't want to use PVA? I think you'll find that it has to be used if you're skimming over plaster. Definitely not on boards. Good lass. Damn that handboard down. You don't want plaster to dry out. Oh, she's just fetched it. Oh, did you see what she did? It's going through me, that. It's like people dragging the nails down a chalkboard. She's damped this bit here, so that bit's damped, and then she's tipped her stuff on. But this is dry as a nun's cunt. It's dry as out, this bit here. And what she's done is she's smearing it over there. So what's going to happen is when she gets to the bottom bit, there's going to be all dry lumps and that. And it's absolutely going through me. It's going through me. What are you doing?
So because I'm right-handed, I'm starting on the left-hand side of the wall because that helps with the sweeping across.
Yep, definitely. No, it needs to be it's other side. It's not it's going to... Oh well. Look at lumps. Look at it, see it. It's like she's got straw in there. Oh no. Oh no! I want to cry for her. I can remember them days when for fuck's sake! Oh, she's gonna stand in that now. Oh, she is. She's gonna stand in it. It's gonna be all over the bottom of her shoes, and then she's gonna walk into the rest of the house. It's gonna be all. Oh, for fuck's sake! What are you doing? Oh. Yeah, she's definitely saving a few quid, isn't she? Oh man, her husband's got to be a plasterer. He'll be like, he'll be, come here, let me just finish that off for you, love.
So it's a bit of a mess so far.
It's a fucking lot of a mess.
On the floor, but that's actually why I put this bit of board down, because if you've got something clean that you can put on the floor, it stops you from getting bits of grit and dirt in it, because it's a disaster if you end up getting them on, because then
you worry about when you're standing in it,
which is obviously perfect. But seriously, if you can clean the floor, it's going to really, really help you out, because you're bound to drop it if you're not a professional, and you can then just stick it straight back up on the wall. So the biggest tip that I've been given, apparently the biggest thing that novices usually get wrong with plastering, is spending too much time trying to...
If you are attempting this, and she has done it, if you ever drop any, scrape it up and don't walk in it. A lot of plasterers, what they do is, even ones that's learning, there's some dirty bastards out there, and they don't give a flying fuck about what they do. They just drop it everywhere. It's all It's all on bottom of the trowels. What she needs to be doing is every so often, regularly, you know what I mean, cleaning back of a trowel off. It don't really matter so much front, it's back of your trowel, because that's where all plaster drips off her. But if you can keep that clean when you're doing walls or ceilings, that will keep the job cleaner.
Is spending too much time trying to smooth it out at an early stage, whereas you're better off just getting it on the wall. So I better get on with it.
You knock about. It's going to be going off that. It must be a small wall. That is just 2 handboards full. She's all over with technique here. She's definitely not done them other 2 walls. That's it. Clean. I need to clean back off. Oh, fuck's sake. Right, so I'll give you another tip as well. Always start in top left-hand corner and go across top, and then stand on floor and then do bottom. Yeah. Do it that way. Has she got an oil in the trowel? She keeps missing that bit. Some trowels bend wrong way. I think she might have bought one of them. I think they've probably seen her coming. Oh, what are you doing? Fucking hell. Missus. Oh, I want to cry for her. I want to sit with my hands in my hands, my head in my hands, and just cry. Oh. No, and it's going to drop on the floor. Oh, fuck. And she's leaning over, she's going to fall. Fucking hell. Oh, mate. She's going to have to mix some more up and all, because I bet there ain't enough there. See, it's going off. She's leaning right over. That's dangerous. Oh, she's on with water now already. You shouldn't be on with water with first coat. She's just going to one-coat it and all, I bet.
To get it all on the wall. It was a little bit close there. It's really, really heated up in the UK.
You mean you've stopped, somebody's come in, flattened it off for you, for video? Definitely. She's not done that. Definitely ain't done that. And then it's one coit. You see it stay to that first coit that you're putting on. It was like as if an octopus had done it.
The UK today, and this is what happens with our weather. It's balmy because it was really cold this morning, but we're up to sort of 20 today. So it's going off really quickly. I really wasn't sure if I was going to get it all on the wall, but I've done.
You ain't got it all on the wall. Whoever's in there with you has jumped in and sorted it out for you. Definitely.
Done it. And it looks, from here, it actually looks pretty smooth. But what you actually find is if you shone a light from the side, you would see that it's not actually flat. And apparently this isn't uncommon even in professional jobs. So
She's right. She's right. Especially with new softer trowels.
There really is room for improvement.
Fucking lot of room for improvement, love. Get a tip. Get somebody in to do it, mate. Like you have done to flatten it off.
And thankfully, there's a trick that I can use to help.
Sponge.
So this is
no.
What you need now. This is called a speed skim. And this basically, instead of having to use the trowel to flatten it all out now, you can use this, which works in seconds instead. Some professional plasterers have.
But you've already flattened it off. They're for flattening off. So what you're supposed to do is you put your first coat on, and then go over it with that. So to flatten it off, and that's what makes it quicker.
I have come round to these, but I think they're still causing a little bit of disagreement in the plastering community about whether or not.
I can skim a wall quicker than somebody with one of them. Trust me.
Whether or not they're a good
The size of my trowel, it's nearly as big as that.
thing or a bad thing. The purists avoid them, but I'll just show you how easy it is to.
Purist. That's me. Damp Purist Sam.
It is to use, and also you don't necessarily need this speed skim device. You can just use a piece of flexible plastic if you can find one. So watch this.
Ah, right, laugh. Yeah. Get a tray out at the kitchen that's made of plastic and just go over it with that. I'm just shaking my head.
apply a reasonable amount of pressure.
Are you going to go upwards as well?
You're trying to just even it all out.
That's it.
So, actually, looking at that, now I've done that, that is not a terrible finish. If I got a bit of sandpaper on it once it had dried, gave it a light sanding over.
Right, you're defeating object. When you skim a wall, you're not supposed to be able to use sandpaper or have to use sandpaper. It's just defeating object. So this wall, it takes around about 3 hours for plaster to go off. 2.5 if you're decent. So that's still going to take 2.5 hours. So we're all prepping everything. She's already into half a day. And then she's going to have to come back when it's finished to sandpaper it down. Dust everywhere. Get somebody in. Get a professional in.
And gave it a light sanding over and painted it. I wouldn't be that unhappy. So I am still a bit concerned because I've still got some lines in my walls. But
well, you've just used a speed skim. Surely you shouldn't have lines if you've just used a speed skim, if they're that good.
But apparently it's all going to be okay. Now, this is where the magic is going to happen. This is my secret weapon, and it's a spot.
So it looks to me, well, it looks to everybody. She's just put one coat on. She's done it as a one coat. There's professionals that can the walls look scabby when they've had one coat put on. You do it in 2 coats, not one coat. I mean, it's been edited, so we ain't seeing everything. So I think there's a bit of gamesmanship going off as if that's. But yeah, I've a lot of plasterers like these sponges. I don't use them, but I probably could be brought round to it. What a sponge does, it will take some moisture out of wall if you're wanting to speed it up. So the setup, so yeah, there can be a good thing.
And it's a sponge float, which you can get from anywhere like Selco. Not too expensive, but make sure that you get one that's for plastering and not for rendering, because they're much more coarse for rendering. But basically, I've got some water here in an old spray bottle, emptied that out and filled up with water. And I'm just going to spray the walls lightly. I've seen other people do this on YouTube. I haven't actually tried this yet, but it looks like it would be easy and it'll work.
You've not tried it? Who's done other 2 fucking walls then? Eh? Who's done them other 2 walls? See? We can work your art. Your husband's a plasterer, or you've got somebody in there and they did other 2 walls. If they didn't, what are you doing? You know what's happened, don't you? So somebody else is doing skimming. And then she said, we've got a good idea. Let's get you to do some. And we'll make it look as if you've skimmed this wall. But video will go viral. So, you know, because it's a woman that's doing it. She's just said she's not done it before. So what did she use for other 2 walls then? We've sussed her out. Sussed this video out.
So spray the water, but you don't want to have too much.
It's a con. Somebody's come in, finished that wall off, got it to a certain standard, and then she's gone in and got filmed.
Water running down the wall, and then I just need to glide.
Come on then. Let's see whether it... Oh, I thought you were going to do circles. Right. Am I doing it right? She's asking him behind camera. I want to go on sideways. I'd have gone up first. She's all over oil. She started in the middle at wall. Look. You need to start at top. There's a great big gap down side there. She just missed. It should be trowel lengths or sponge lengths. So, right. So what she should have done. She should have started top left hand corner, like she said, starting left, but top left hand corner. She should have done the width of the sponge all the way across, and then come down the width of the sponge, and just overlapped where end at last sponge was, went across, and then all the way down same, and then done same going upwards, so you get like you get a flatness on the wall. It's like a cross trowel. So you've got, it goes one way and then other way, and it'll get it flatter. I don't think it'll get it flatter with sponge, but that's how you do it with a trowel. to get it flat. There'll be some great lumps in it, this. Bumps, not lumps, bumps. Struggling round with them pipes, aren't she? Now, she's struggling. Her arms are killing her, poor thing. Oh, yeah, she's saying, why the fuck have I started this? Could have been watching Coronation Street and EastEnders. Missed Hollyoaks, bastard. And I've got kids to sort out as well tonight. And somebody put this fucking annoying music on. I don't even like whistling. Oh, two hands. I told you her arms are absolutely killing. She's two-handing it now. This is an hour later. Oh, she's back. It's back on with trowel. All right. I thought that was it with sponge. Oh, she's back on with trowel now, putting more lines in it. Okay, now.
So I'm just finishing off this space now. Just a couple of little bits more to iron out, but really I'm almost there, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, go and get your fucking iron out. That's what you need to do. That'd probably be better than what you're using with that trowel. Fuck me. When will people learn?
It's ready to be painted almost once it's dried off, so I have to put a dilute coat on that first of all, of course, and it's job done. So to answer the question, is plastering a DIY job? I would say yes, but
no.
with the proviso that I certainly wouldn't take on any big jobs because it would just simply take me too long. And I do have a confession to make, which is that this space here is actually going to be a cupboard. So I knew that if it all went wrong, it wasn't a space that people were going to see anyway. So it was a really good place to practice. And apparently that's what they do, give the kind of jobs they give to apprentices anyway, is like under stairs and...
Who's there? See, it's been misleading, this video, right from the beginning, because it's as if she's done all them other walls. I'd have to go back and listen to what she said about them other walls, but I thought she'd done them, and that's why I was saying it looks like a bad job. But yeah, definitely Hubby's a plasterer or something, or they've had somebody in one of mates.
Places where people don't see them immediately, because everyone has got to start somewhere, haven't they? But I've actually really enjoyed it, and that's perhaps the main thing. So I'm going to be taking on loads more tasks. I'm going to work my way through the rest of the jobs in this house really, and see what I think is a DIY job and what isn't. And everyone's different. Everyone's level of skills and potential is different, and time. I think for me, I'm still working. I've got kids, so I didn't have an infinite amount of time to spend doing this. But I'm really pleased with what I've done. For the moment, I'll probably stick just to cupboards, but who knows? One day I
because her arms are aching.
But there'll definitely be loads more like this.
Worn out, poor lass.
Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget
that it's probably harder than childbirth. Oh, that's controversial, isn't it? Plasterers work harder than a woman at childbirth. I could tell she put that first lot on, and then they cut it, and somebody's come in and smartened it up for her, and then said, "You go over this bit, you go over that bit." And if it's a plasterer, it'll be like me, effing and jeffing. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing, you stupid twat? It'll have been going absolutely crackers, because, like she said, and she will have been. They'll have been arguing. They'll have been arguing like fuck, because Hollyoaks will have been on. Cause she's got kids to make. There's school uniforms tying. So I thought she'd done other bits. She didn't say this is first ever bit, but hey ho. But I've enjoyed it. It's given me a laugh, and I hope everybody else has enjoyed it, and I hope you've found something out. That she's saying that plastering is a DIY job. I'm telling you, it isn't. It's not. Leave it to professionals. Get your trowel out and do a bit of bricklaying. Build your barbecue. Get your pipe 2.0, whatever they call it, and do your bit of plumbing and whatever. under floorboards and fitting this and that, even though you shouldn't if it's gas. Change your plug sockets. Get your paintbrushes out. Do a bit of painting. What else is there? Gardening. Plastering is for professionals. There's plasterers that's been doing it 5 years and they're still shit. So somebody to come in and do it for like, you know what I mean, first time. I could have saved it. Could have saved a lot of money. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I am. It's been stressful. It's been like people scraping the nails down a blackboard to me. Everything about it is just, I don't know, it's just, I'll not sleep right tonight. But I'll see you on next video. So that's me, Dampsam, signing off. Until the next one. Bye-bye now.